Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the latest episode of my fantabulous online playground. Welcome to Tuesday night. This is the live stream where we talk about beverages. We talk about blades, and when I'm actually successful, we talk about bushcraft. I don't need to put my cans on. There ain't no one here to talk to just yet. Before I check in on who's in the side chat, I do want to do the usual housekeeping. That's the part where I say that if, in fact, you're loving... I skipped a piece. I'm a pro, people. That's the part where I say, if in fact you're watching us, time shift it to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year or whenever. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments that you drop down below, because it's too late to drop them. Oh, damn it, I did it again. In the side chat. I love seeing the comments pop up. I answer as often as I can, and it just warms the cockles of my heart. And if at any point tonight you really love what's going on around here, then I invite you to hit that smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really kind of hate what's happening, that's all right. The frowny thumb just works about as well. And if at any point you decide that it's worth my time and money to help support this place and keep the lights on, then I invite you to check out the join button. Click on that, and you right click on that and select open in a new tab. And you will see that there are 2 tiers of membership and what each tier gets you for your hard-earned folding cash. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. From about halfway through Wednesday till about halfway through Sunday, I was flat on my arse due to illness, like the worst I've had in a long time. Perked up a little bit yesterday. Actually perked up a little bit halfway through Sunday and yesterday. And I'm feeling fine today, but my throat is still very sore, very, very dry. As members will know that I did a live stream earlier this week where I managed to keep it together and then had a very sore throat for the rest of the night. So, who's hanging? Excuse me. Who's hanging with us here? Just scrolling up to the top of the side chat. Who popped in first? Christy popped in about a quarter of an hour early to say hi. Christy, as you can tell by that wonderful little icon, is a channel hero. Tea's a good drink, especially when you're sick. Hey, speaking of beverages, should I maybe pour this? I've had this with you people before. This is a white stout coffee blonde ale. Wait a minute, it's weird. It says stout blanc and then coffee white ale, and that's all French. What's going on here? Strong beer at the strong beer. What's the ABV on this? Oh, it's 5.6. Who cares? Oh, I see. Okay, so that's the French side of the can. Come on, focus. Stout blanc, ale blonde au café. Ingrédients québécois. Anyway, whatever. I'll pour it now. Got paper towels right beside me. That's the wrong glass. I think that a white stout is a misnomer. I mean, how can a stout be white? Stouts are black. Stouts are as black as my soul. Do 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 ba ba dum bum 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 bum. Look at that. Look at that color. Who else is having a beverage with me tonight? Let me see. Yes, Chrissy, you were the first one there. You were there even earlier than I was. I have had a very high octane couple of days. The women folk went to New York City on Sunday morning, and they're coming home tomorrow. So I was just making, and our fridge committed harikiri. So the repair guy came today. So on Sunday night, I had to empty the whole thing, and on Sunday, I really wanted to just be laying down on my back, but fridge had to be emptied so that the breaker could be thrown. Anyways, so he came and fixed it today. So I spent the day sort of, I mean, after work. I finished work at 4:30, and I've been running around like a fart in a windstorm, just sort of tidying up stuff that wasn't tidied when the girls left, and refilling the fridge, throwing away stuff, and mopping the floors and stuff. So, but hey, now it's live stream time. It's a time that I look forward to every week. So I had a little bit of a splinter there. Country boy's like, she beat me to it. She did. But that's okay, because you're both channel heroes. So you're both special in my eyes. Oops, excuse me. Destiny is listening from the hot tub. In the hot tub. I do not have a hot tub. In fact, I haven't been in one in a long time. My wife's uncle and aunt used to have one. May they both rest in peace. But it was really sweet on like a mild winter day when there's like just a sprinkle of snow coming down to like sit in that thing. Getting out on a mild winter day when it was just sprinkling with snow sucked though, because you get cold really, really fast. But it's nice to sit in the steam when the snow is drifting around. Destiny also says, great cabin pics last live, Kristen. Thank you. Yeah, I like doing the cabins. Like every couple of months, or maybe a little more often than that. Like, not too often, because I don't want to kill it, but that's something that I like revisiting on a semi-regular basis. I really enjoy those evenings. Country boy is salty about Destiny sitting in her hot tub. Destiny should do like a video tour of her hot tub, and here's all the I have no idea what they're called in English, but the nozzles where the water comes spurting out, and like a special video just for Country Boy. Here's the heating elements or whatever. It's a real jacuzzi. It costs $12,000. Christy thought they were awesome too. I would take any one of those, even if they were AI. I wouldn't take the one where I was too fat to get down that little narrow part in the stairs. But yeah, even the more fantasy-esque looking ones were still very, very pretty. Let me see. We got David Evans, who is both a channel hero and a channel mod. Who else do we got? Well, Destiny is hailing Sir David. Where are you tonight, David? Just many people saying hi to each other. Country Boy says, I've been getting AI pics of cabins in my Facebook suggestions like crazy lately. The Zuck is watching us. Yeah, I've been getting them for a while as well. Absolutely. In fact, if you go on, like, there are Facebook groups that are like cabins in the woods, off-grid cabins, and every now and again you'll see like a picture. It's like, no, that's an AI picture. No, that's an AI picture. No, it's an AI picture. Because they're getting that good. They're getting good enough that if you don't look real closely, sometimes you can be really tricked. Just trying to see if anyone else, if it's just Steve Cousins, how's it going? I don't know if I've said hi to you before, Steve Cousins, but hi, welcome to the stream. Where are you tonight? Not specific address, just sort of generalizations, province or state or country. Destiny says, I wonder what the cheese tax is. Hey, you know what? Because I just spent 4 days lying on my back. I have not eaten a lot of cheese. Well, and then I emptied the fridge. Not been a big cheese time for me lately. So did Jess lose his M? I don't know what an M is. That was at 9:04. What's an M, folks? There's Mark. How's it going, Mark? We got there's Shawnee. Pop in with a good evening. What are you doing tonight, Shawnee? What's on your agenda for this evening? Come on, sinuses. Don't let me down. We got Grace in the house. How's it going, Grace? Everyone's just saying hi, which is fabulous. Boosh crap going into the quotes. Destiny's got her pen and paper out, I see. Oh, my sinuses are going nuts. Please warm Jess's cockles. I love it. Okay. It's, off-grid. Oops. Aha. I clicked twice by accident. How's it going, off-grid recon? How's the weather tonight? How you doing? We got Hike with Mike in the house. How's it going, Mike? Please note, I called you Mike for once instead of Hike. Man, I don't know why I've got like a block on that. Mr. Ian is in the house. How's it going, Ian? Ian is a channel hero, as you can tell by the lovely little icon. Apparently just can warm his own cockles. You know, context is key when we're talking about cockles, I think, eh? Yes, I should pour. Okay, so that's I'm slowly getting caught up. Yep, I did pour it. I did enjoy it massively. Everyone's saying, pour it. Bubbles will feel good on your throat. That's true. A nice cold drink really helps. Yeah. And it's funny because it does have a very it has a very stout taste, and it is very coffee-esque. It just doesn't have the look, you know. The grain, the grain bill is barley, oats, and wheat. The hops are Cascade and Centennial, and other is coffee, vanilla, and lactose. So I'll just throw it around. So let me get comfy in my little seat here. Whoops. Destiny says it's a tall, dark, and blonde night tonight. I love it. Stouts are as dark in my soul. Did I say that? I guess I did. Hey, there's Charles and Annie. How are things in the Philippines tonight? How's that cabin coming? Actually, I think you're coming down the home stretch on that, aren't you? I haven't seen pictures in a while. I haven't spoken to you in a while. Off-grid recon. My freezer bit the dust. Sunday repair guy coming tomorrow. If our freezer bit the dust, that would be a problem. That'd be a problem because you can't just like throw everything into a cooler. I mean, you can, but you better start, eating through your supplies. Like if the freezer bit the dust, I would just run out and buy one like that day, and just transfer everything over. Like plug it in, transfer everything over. I wouldn't even bother because I don't want to lose. We've got some, we've got like some duck confit and some. We've still got some deer meat and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that you don't want to lose. I mean, look, it's expensive to buy a new freezer, but I hate the idea of wasting food. You guys know that comes from me having grown up food insecure. Like wasting food really, really bugs me. So who else is hanging with us? Country Boy is always having a beverage. I think I have a problem, or maybe it's the solution to my problems. I'll go with the latter. Well, at least you've got a, you flipped the coin, or you came down on one side, you made your decision, and you're sticking by it. David Evans says, Jets. Man. The Jets. Oh, those nozzle things are called the Jets. Okay. There we go. So there's Russell popping in. Russell is a channel mod and a channel hero. Check by those two little icons. And he almost got stuck upside down. That's your what do you call that thing? Extension table? That's that thing you hang upside down on, right? You almost got stuck in it. What happened there? David is in Floride ce soir. Because you had gone, David, that sort of Canadian, what was it called? Canadian Caribou? That Canadian whiskey that your wife got you for Christmas, I think it was, that we'd never really figured out what was going on with it, has become available in Canada. And it's weird because it's by the Sazerac company, and it's not distilled in Canada. It's not a Canadian whiskey. But anyways, what the hell's it called? Canadian You know the one I'm talking about, right? Please tell me that you know what I'm talking about. Say the name of it in the side chat. So there's a funny story about Orad's name here. That says Orad was taken. And when I first met Orad, I knew what his last name was, but for some reason when I saw that, I thought his name was Orad Wastikin, and so I've been calling him Wastikin ever since because it's hilarious. AI is not good with hands. You're absolutely right. Okay. Did I show you guys this? Yes, I did. I showed most of you a character I had created and had AI do a sketch of, and I think I remember I told you guys I had Microsoft's AI redo this sketch like 400 times, or well, 120 times I think it was actually, because just kept making her way too like hot, like way too Jesse Kryptonite. And it tells me that like AI is definitely engineered by boys, by like kind of neckbeards, because it's like whatever young girl post-apocalyptic wasteland, mixed race because it's the future, and maybe everyone has homogenized or something, and then like boom, like, tight tank top, torn, and like no, just not model, just girl, boom, like porn star. I'm like, oh no. So AI is it's got some room to grow. Charles and Annie are doing well. Just a lot of work around the house, painting kitchen cabinet. Yeah, your place is almost done. I'm sure of it. Hey, Skip's here. How's it going? How's it going, Mr. Quest? I'm just seeing who. Yeah, you said that last time, and I told you it's not. It's gray. Yeah, it's much more obvious, the gray hairs, that I'm a little longer than I used to be. You know what? Next week I'll cut it back to like 0.5 millimeter just to make you happy, Russell. Short it, Russell. Susie Q is asking, did you get sick from taking care of your daughter last week? I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, I got way sicker than she did. Like, I literally have not felt that bad since the first time I got COVID. I was bewildered. And then on Sunday, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm nauseous. Wait, I'm not nauseated. I'm just hungry. When was the last time I ate something? But I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe. Shawnee is spring cleaning around the house. Huge donate pile to put out. Huge dumpster to throw out. All the husband's mistakes. Gonna finish up work and eat. Indoor gardening. I wish we had thought to do some indoor gardening, but it's just life just keeps getting in the way. And I'm still fighting with piles and piles of stuff. I did almost finish organizing the rat's nest of cables under this desk, though. There's one last piece to put together. I mean, piece of the puzzle, which I will be doing soon. And because I mentioned this in a previous live stream, that for me, like the rat's nest under the desk was like a stop sign in my face for getting the rest of this crap organized. Um, for those of you who don't know, I live in an epic mess, and it drives the madame crazy, and it drives me crazy too. I mean, I want to be more organized than I am. Like, I have these images of what I want to do with my space, and like the first part of the project is always fudge, clean out a room, you know. You're in Southern Ontario, okay. All right, so how's the weather right now? If you guys are anything like us, it's like, what happened to winter, man? Charles says, very hot and humid here this month. Last month was actually chilly. Yeah, I can well imagine it's probably hot and humid. But you're not like, I'm just trying to remember exactly where the Philippines is. Like, it's a lot warmer than here. I'm sort of triangulating, but you're not like, are you in the Southern Hemisphere? Like, I have this image of the Philippines as being kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it, because like I see Japan, right, and like I see Borneo, I see Malaysia, I see like, okay, Singapore, and sort of I see the Philippines is around here, but like not down where Australia is. Like not PNG, right? But like further north, I don't know. Am I right at all? Jerez, the husband. Oh no, Jete le husband. Toss the guy. Right, Canadian Hunter. Yeah, so it's available up here now. I saw it up here at the Kensington Wine Market in Calgary. I don't know why it's called, because it says Canadian whiskey on the bottle, but I don't know where that comes from. I just don't know. David sent me a pic, so check my text messages. I shall now check my text messages. The bottle does not look the same. Oh, this is the 1.75 liter. Holy crap! You have an almost 2-liter bottle of whiskey. And yeah, I guess that's a hunter. He's even got a boomstick. Russell says, I flipped upside down on my inversion table and the footrest jammed up against my stairs. Wow. Shite, dude. What? Oops. What do you do if you get stuck? I mean, you live A, alone, and B, kilometers from anyone. Okay, country boy went in a different direction. And David went where we all should have gone immediately. Is it hard to drink beer while inverted? I guess not if you have a straw. Note to Raspberry Rock, probably not a good idea to do that by the stairs. Yes, I agree. Hey, look at that. We got Sean in Alaska on the line. Snowing in 28 degrees freedom here. Spring is on the way. Saying hi to everyone, and I would have paid to see you stuck, Russell. Yeah, I would have paid good money to see that too, but then I would have felt obligated to help. Yeah, you are above the Southern Hemisphere, so I sort of know. It's funny because like I know where Japan is. I know where like a lot, I know where Vietnam, PNG and all those. But for some reason, I know where Hawaii is, but for some reason, the Philippines is like, when I look at a map, it's never where I'm expecting it to be. Okay, I've caught up with the side chat. I don't know. I thought I heard something right there. So what should we talk about tonight? I kind of feel like I want to talk about axes or knives tonight. I did want to talk about that book. What's it called? After We're Gone. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm not gonna go and get it. But I realized that like I didn't have time to put together as all the notes that I wanted to put together for that book, because I think I've done a reading from it in a previous live stream where I had all my live stream chapters planned out and everything. It's a book about, like, if we all just disappeared from the earth, like right now, how long would it take for all traces of our being here to disappear? I'm just double checking the title, make sure I'm right. I'm not. Oh, what's it called? Anyways, I mean, I'll talk about it on another week because I don't. Hey, Serge is here. How's it going, Serge? Serge, I'm thinking about maybe talking about knives, axes or knives. Anyone want to talk about knives? Dangerous part of drinking beer upside down is there's a really good chance you'll end up pouring it right down your nose. You got to use a straw. There's an Atarashigato video. I don't remember which one it is, where they're all sort of hanging upside down, and one of them is drinking a pop or a soda or something. No, one of them's eating an ice cream, one of them's drinking a soda. So she's got it with a straw. I think Atarashigaku was a great band, a great Japanese band. I don't know who's interested in. You know what? I'm gonna make a poll. That's what I'm gonna do. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Should we on this night of nights discuss knives? I'm even gonna spell it that way. No knives here. Knives. Axes. And I'm gonna add other. Tell me more. Gonna leave that up for like right now we're at 21:32, so I will leave it up till 21:40. So that's 8 minutes, and we will then make our decision. I'm looking. Someone's talking about Wordle. I did play Wordle for a while, but I don't do it anymore. I did enjoy Wordle though. Serge says, I've missed a few, but it's been a while since we haven't talked about blades of sorts. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I probably should have gone and gotten all my knives and stuff, but I've got a couple here. Country Boy says that talking about knives leads me to online shopping. Yeah, I will not be online shopping. I've had a very expensive 2 weeks. Very, very expensive. I cannot wait to see my next credit card bill. Al is here and says the Buck Coca-Cola 119 is kind of sexy. I'm not surprised that you're into the Buck knives. Seems like an Al knife style. My my father-in-law has an old Buck as well, and the 119 is definitely a classic design. I'm finding it so that I can share it on screen for those who don't know what it looks like. So there it is. Oh, and this is actually the Coca-Cola one. I'm more used to the sort of, like this kind of look. But Coca-Cola is a nice wood. Heavy if you have a base made out of it, though. Yeah, it's got like that. Is that a clip point, or is a clip point more of like a straight downward angle on it? Nice sheath. That's kind of a bushcrafty sheath. That's more bushcrafty a sheath than I'm used to. But how do they? Oh, I get it. Okay. Because I was like, how do they get that sheath going all the way up there with that cross piece? But yeah, I see it. So the top, I think, must have a snap and it comes around, right? Like, yeah. In fact, I even see the snap on the side there. Okay. Oh, my sinuses have to leave me alone. They just have to. Hi, Carol. Salut, Carole. Oh, Worldly. Yeah. That game I played for a while as well. Yeah, in fact, I think I was better at that than Wordle. Or yeah, Knaxes. Let's discuss Knaxes. Is that like choppers? Straws are for kids. Let them drink beer through a straw. For manly men and frilly women, you pour it in your mouth. Yeah, but you're upside down, dude. Mark has seen Dylan has seen Dune. I see. I think we should talk about how to make your own still suit for desert survival situations. Wouldn't that be a good episode to make? Today on Rain Dance Bushcraft, we're making a still suit. Marcus, how's it going? How is it going, Marcus? I mean, it probably hasn't, but for some reason it feels like a long time since we've spoken. As I said, I'm coming back from 4.5 days of being on my back from illness, so everything feels like it happened like a year ago. Grace Martin says that a straw is a sissy stick. Not my straws, they're metal, okay? They're metal. Reusable straws are metal. $21.37. That poll is almost done. Almost done. So what's winning right now? Knives are winning. 25% say Axis. 33% say tell me more. Say other. We could just make it like a tool conversation, right? Like an outdoorsy tool conversation. If you want to talk about your favorite saw, maybe we can do that. Yeah, I agree, Destiny. I need to invite Marcus on a live to discuss lanterns. I think a lantern discussion with Marcus and maybe David and who else is a lantern guy here? Russell and I each have a couple of lanterns, but like David and Marcus are definitely sort of the lantern guys around here. But they're both into like the propane things, right? I'd love somebody who's like really all about the paraffin side of things, like someone aside from me to sort of come on and talk as well. Charles is asking David if he's been able to go fishing. I thought that said fisting at first, and I was like, what? But then when I brought it up large on screen, I said, oh, fishing. Okay, good. Where are we? Serge, hi to everyone who said hi to me. I'm so lazy. Orad asks if anyone's ever played the math version. Nerdle. No, I haven't. I mean, you know me with numbers, Orad, but in fact, it's funny because I started playing that Sudoku specifically as a way to get over my aversion to numbers. Maybe I'll give the oh, and on my phone I have the math what the hell's it called? Like the math. Duolingo has a math app now, so I got that on my phone. Every now and again, I work out my brain, but like you have to start with really, really basic elementary stuff, and so I got kind of bored with it. Like you can't jump to anything. David was offshore fisting last week. Caught a few gray snappers. Nice. Is that good eatings? Good eatings. Longs. Skip says, rarely more than 2 weeks between going out there. Just have a couple of months after winterize every time I go back home. Not propane. Naphtha. Sorry. Or I was laughing at something, either me with the numbers or the fact that I thought fishing was fisting. Okay, Destiny is asking a blade-related question, so I'm going to take this seriously and we're going to answer it. Settle this once and for all. Is there really a female version for knives and axes? Never bought into this, but hey, what do I know? The simple answer is no. The more involved answer is there shouldn't be, but marketing is amazing. The one spot where, look, there are companies that make female specific outdoor gear across the board, right? And as a female specific rucksack is a great idea because the shoulder straps are designed for someone who has breasts, right? Sometimes with like your straight up male designed ones, there can be all kinds of discomfort issues, chafe. Anyways, it can be bad. So some companies are making female specific stuff. In fact, there's a woman owned company that makes female specific like hunting outfits and stuff. And I always think that companies like that should be supported, which goes back to, it all goes back to, there are elements of life that wherein designing for women can have a massive comfort advantage, and there are elements of life where designing for women can have a safety advantage. I did a presentation at work based on the book, the Design of Everyday Things, and related to that were things I had found, like an improvement on the three stone stove used in much of the developing world, and designing for women. There's a town in Sweden that has designed its snow clearing around what happens every morning. But you know how men jump into their cars and go to work in this town, whereas women tend to do errand chaining on their way, and women are more often to be pushing up a pram or a stroller to daycare on their way to work or whatever. And so what they did was they switched the snow plowing to doing the sidewalks first, based on the concept that I'm trying to remember exact, but I'm paraphrasing massively here. But the fact is, a traffic jam is a drag. Slipping and breaking your hip or your back or your knee on a sidewalk is a medical emergency, right? And so there's a much higher cost to society, well, in most countries, when when someone breaks themselves on the sidewalk. And so having done this little flip, their emergency rooms see less business, and the effects to the traffic getting people to work was not nearly as disastrous as they had feared. Another thing I discovered in doing my research for this was that if you're in a major car accident and there's someone in every seat, the one who runs the least chance by a huge margin of surviving is the front side passenger seat. Because statistically, even today, even with like, I'm so woke, all that, statistically, the guy is in the driving seat and the wife or the girlfriend is in the passenger seat. And it is only recently that car companies have begun to start, like, seriously, female crash test dummying. It took them forever to buckle under to the pressure to have female crash test dummies, and all they did was they downsized a regular one. Now I believe Mercedes-Benz was the first one with a dedicated actual female proportion crash test dummy. Because what that means is that nobody was testing for women, right? Placement of the straps, this, that, the other. And so, the statistics were that, if you're the wife or the girlfriend and there's a major car accident, chances are you weren't going to walk out. So all this to say that, yes, there is a case for female specific gear. Everything from like cold weather gear that fits your form, that doesn't pinch, where guys don't tend to be large unless they're really, really heavy set. Stuff like backpacks, rucksacks, anything with a strap that could pinch or make stuff uncomfortable, because of the fact that if you're not comfortable when you're out there, you're not going to have a good time when you're out there, which means you're not going to love being out there. Right. And hold on. I'm wiping extra just so that Christy doesn't think I got boogers in my but I have seen nothing that tells me that extends to axes and knives. The one pair of knives that are gendered and I think is solid is, I think it's Hella. I think it's Hella. They've got this kid's knife. Perfectly designed kid's knife. It really, it's small. It's got this really large, like, cross, cross piece, so that there's no chance of slipping down on the blade. And they make one for boys and one for girls. And the only difference is on the sheath. There's a little boy on one and a little girl on the other. And I love that because, little boys and little girls are at a time in their lives when there is little boy stuff and little girl stuff. And I've often said that if a boy wants to play with Barbies, that's fine. If a girl wants to play with Star Wars, that's fine. I have 2 girls who play with Star Wars. I don't think that there are gendered toys, but the fact is I'm pissing into the wind on that. And this little girl's knife makes it utterly clear. Now, granted, in Scandinavia, traditionally, like in Sweden, boys had knives on their belt early, and you were considered undressed if you didn't have one. So it's true that the context is very different. But in my context, where I am, a little girl with a bushcraft knife that has a girl on it knows that this stuff is for her, knows that it's not just boys who go out into the woods. Absolutely is 100% certain that she is welcome in the woods. She's welcome playing with with the sticks, learning to do fire lay, learning to do feather sticks, learning how to use a knife, because there's a girl on the sheath, so there's no question that she's playing with her brother's toys here. I think I may have gone way too far on this discussion, Destiny, but it's something that I think about a lot. And, I'm not one of these guys who are like, "As a father, I think that" no. In my opinion, if you start with "as a father, I," then you need to the only thing you should follow that up with is try to be the best one I can. I hate this when, like, "As a father, I think that we need to, make our little girls safer and all that." No, no, dude, as a human being, you think that people should be safe. Shut up. Oh, Destiny started me off. Okay, I'm gonna cut that short. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So apparently I pissed off David and Marcus with my propane comments. Sorry. Grace Martin says Toshiki is more challenging than Sudoku. Well, in that case, I'm not going to do it because I sometimes have a hell of a hard time with Sudoku. Marcus is full of gas. Good to know. Sheath is technically, yes. There's a whole discussion about a certain word for the female genitalia that is absolutely related to that. But yes, but that's not where we were going, or at. I don't want to go down that whole conversation and possibly get demonetized because of. I guess yeah, you're right. And what's this about a collapsible canoe? Sean James's daughter Emily used one in her last vid or so. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've never used one. It looks like the kind of thing where because I know what it's made of. I don't remember what it's called, but I feel that folding and unfolding it a lot over years will create splits. And at the end of the day, that seems like a hipster canoe to me. Which, to be honest, I feel that she's kind of a hipster outdoors person, so maybe they fit. That's a terrible thing to say, Jesse. Shut up. But the thing is, I like it's an affordable-ish way to get into canoeing, right? Like if you don't want to buy a big heavy Pelican at Canadian Tire, that's going to be way a lot less. And at the end of the day, one of the things that stops people cold is this canoe is 80 pounds. I'm not doing it. I'm leaving it in the rack. Whereas a foldable one you can throw in the back of your car. Like I don't have roof racks on our CX-5. We will probably never again buy a car and not take the upgrade, but there are pluses and minuses to all this stuff, right? I have classicist tastes, I guess. I mean, not my canoe doesn't have to be, cedar and canvas or birch bark. I mean, I'm fine with high tech Kevlars and stuff, but I like my canoe to have a really traditional shape to it. And like part of me wants it to be red, just as a nod to Canadiana, like Bill Mason's canoes. He's the guy who made the Prospector like the Canadian canoe, right? And to a lot of us, our first vision of a canoe on screen was that red canoe. So part of me wants mine to be red, but I think that the blue that Swift makes is so damn beautiful that I'd probably go for that instead. Hold on. Kitchen knives are for women. David, man, I have some nice kitchen knives thanks to Al. I like to be in the kitchen. I like cooking. I hate baking. Baking is more scientific. So I mean, I love the idea of it, but I'm not as good at baking as I am at cooking because you can't wing it as much as you can with cooking, or ads on my side, I think. Grace says sternum straps are boob smashers. Yeah. The companies that make sort of female specific stuff, they seem to be able to like they move the the sternum stab. Yes, that's those of us who are in the new call it the sternum stab. They seem to move the sternum strap like way high. Like it looks too high for me, but you know. Um, Chrissy says, "What? David Evans just sent me a very nice knife, and I love it. It is a nice knife. Absolutely. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad it got there. I'm glad I finally remembered to take it to the damn post office. Man, I can't believe it when I saw that sitting in the back of my car. And I was like, I thought I took that and sent it like a week and a half ago. So yeah, it took some time, but at least it got there, right? Still friends. Country Boy says to Skip, didn't see you there. I'm being a bad moderator and working on new projects as I listen. What? Why you gotta be hating? Why you hurting me? You're cutting me deep. Deep? Shut up, Jesse. Destiny says, gotta love the Swedes. They are so smart. I do love the Swedes. Man, so much of my gear. I mean, you guys know that most of my axes are Swedish because I'm rich. When I bought all of my axes, they were nowhere near as crazy town as they are these days. But I'm glad that I bought them when I did because I am throughout my entire life I've been like a day late and a penny short kind of thing. I'm ending the poll because yeah, we're way past. So knives did win, but just by a hair. So we will definitely talk about knives, but we can talk about all bladed bushcrafty object tools. Okay. 8 Acres says, meanwhile, when I think they make products for women and they make it pink, as if all women want pink. Yeah, there is, in fact, thank you for reminding me, there is a woman-oriented outdoors company that does make a lot of pink stuff, like pink tools and stuff. And I always thought that was kind of a that's when you let sort of traditionalist marketing make your decisions rather than doing any research, because there are going to be women who want like a pink gun. Absolutely. A pink handled knife. Sure. That's fine. But there are also a lot of women who don't want pink stuff, and I don't have to have some insight into the female soul to make that statement. I mean, I know many women and some of them love pink and some of them are like, get that away from me. But yeah, it's just people who have this idea for a moneymaker. We're going to make female specific knife, even though there's no reason. And we're going to make it pink micarta. Well, what about women who really like wood? If Russell's still here, that's going to end up being twisted. But hey, we're just going to move right along. Wooden handled boomsticks, wooden handled knives, wooden handled axes. Why am I having so much trouble saying wooden handled? Wooden handled. Hootenanny. Oh, well, yeah. So, Grace. I was going to say Serge. I was going to say math for some reason. Anyway, yeah, there are definitely pink camo boomsticks, and I mean, okay, and they will sell. They will sell. I mean, you don't have to dislike pink. Some people do, and that's fine. I really don't like pink. Yes, says Destiny. She completely agrees with you, Sash. Completely. Sash, what are you drinking tonight? Christy hates pink. Jesse hates pink. One of his daughters hates pink. The other loves pink. I will let you folk guess which is which. Skip has a kitchen knife that he hand forged himself. I have one that was hand forged by a knife maker somewhere in the States, and and I bought it off of him No, I bought it from someone else who had bought it off of him. And back then, like 15 years ago, it was 280 US. And it's like a 6-inch chef's knife. And I pinged him to say I want an 8-inch chef's knife to go with it. And he said, I'm never making another one. That was a one-off. Enjoy it, but I'm never doing that again. It was a freaking nightmare. So I have a very unique. No, that's not a very situation. So I have a unique chef's knife, and I wish it was longer. Made by KFU Knives in the United States somewhere. The girlfriend has hunting gear with silver sparkles on the inside of her jacket. It's falling out everywhere. It's so stupid. Pour my dram. Oh, schnikes. It's 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah, I even see Russell's there. The cans are on. Oh, what am I going to pour? Burial at sea. An old puffer receiving a Viking burial. On the sound of Jura, as the petrol tank ignites, the gathered crowd eats herring from their wellies. That's actually a really good explanation of the notes in this peated monster of a dram. It hurts me that when this is finished, I'll never be able to buy another one. Though technically, I bought two. I have one still unopened. There's another one that I deeply wish I'd done that with. But anyways, whatevs. So many drams, so little time. David says that Amazon has a pink knife for women because, hey, we should all be buying our knives on Amazon. Christy says, do you prefer a left-handed knife or axe or right-handed? You're here all night. You know, you say that like it's a silly thing. Well, because it is. But I did actually at one point see online, because I would never buy such a stupid thing, a handed knife. Like it had sort of indentations molded into the handle. I was like, oh, stupid. But my my fancy kitchen knives are right-handed because they're chisel ground. They're, you know, Japanese style, right? So on one side they have sort of the bevel and everything, and the other side is absolutely flat. The idea being like they work the way those single beveled carving axes do, right? You get closer and closer to the line on the flat side for more exactitude. Russell, I'm gonna let you come on when you want, unless you want me to bring you on. Great info about backpack straps for women. Thanks, everyone. Destiny, look it up. I don't know if that women-owned company is still around, but look, outdoor stuff, everyone, outdoor stuff is expensive, right? Like full-on bushcraft gear is expensive. Sometimes because it's a 1 or 2 person shop pumping out really cool stuff out of leather and canvas, in which case I'm like, take my money. And sometimes because it's a huge company with a big marketing department. You know, I think for what we spend on our gear, from like a folding knife to an axe to a canoe to a backpack, always do your research before making your purchase. For, you know, those of you like Destiny and stuff, see if they have a female specific line. I like, you know, North Face has a women specific line of backpacks. I think Osprey does as well. Now these companies also do a lot of biking backpacks. This is really important when you're biking. Hey there, boopy noobie.
Hello.
Boopy noobie, you're the one. Moving right along. Do you have any opinions on anything I've spoken about tonight?
Oh, I haven't been listening, actually. I heard something about a left-handed axe and something. I don't know.
Well, carving axes are handed, right? You know, like the ones that are single beveled, they are handed.
Oh, well, if you're anything single bevel is going to be something or the other.
Yeah. But yeah, Destiny, I think, you know, definitely look it up. It's worth your money because it's expensive no matter how you slice it. So if it's an extra 10 or 20 bucks, it's worth it for comfort. Or as telling me to preach. Yeah, brother. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Skip says, back when I was a little boy, we carried spears. I'm sure you did. When I was a little boy, we made spears. Oh, wow. Russell's gathered up all his knives. I should have done the same before coming on. I should have thought of it.
I got them all right here. I'm ready to talk.
That's one knife. That's your number 4, right?
I'm picking them up one at a time. Yeah,
that's your number 1. Yeah. So we each have one of those.
This is the knife that David gave to City Girl.
Is it?
But she leaves it here. So
on that drunken retail night.
Maybe I got a folder that I never use.
I got a folder up there too.
I kind of think that folders should be light. You know, this has some weight to it.
Yeah, it's a big one. My folder is pretty light, but yeah, you can get some very large folders. Oh, hey, Cliff is here. How's it going, Cliff? Grace says that hinges / moving parts are weak points. Yes, that is true. Well, this is why you don't baton with a folding knife. But I will tell you, there are a lot of cases where you want a folder hanging around rather than a big belt knife. For sure. I'm just seeing if we've caught up with, like, if we said hi to everyone who's popping in. Though, Jess needs a boreal canoe. As opposed to like a mixed broadleaf canoe. Is there actually a brand boreal, or are you just being a great big jerk because you know that Russell and I have differing opinions on the boreal?
Well, you have an opinion and I'm right.
Everything's just philosophy here. Orad said, I just tried Futoshiki for the first time. Really fun. Maybe I'll give it a... Oh, you got a Red Old Town Long's Quest. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic for sure.
There's a boreal design kayak.
Yeah, I have more experience with a kayak in recent years, but it's not the same to me as canoeing. You know?
Sure. Sure, fella.
Christy says to get on there and show your knives, by the way, Russell. Cliff says, easier to cut wheel cheese with a knife than an axe. How
far behind are you? Jeez.
Easy to not completely wreck the job, but not easier to do the cutting. I'm just trying to catch up with the side chat. Jim is here, driving home, not going to say howdy. All right. Come on. I like it when you say howdy. You know, see an Audi from Jim, and it's like, okay, the world is right. Okay, Orad says, we all wish we had 8 inches instead of 6, Jess. Okay. This is, I see where we could go if we're not careful tonight. Serge is eating supper late, so he's drinking water. I must be spectacularly late. Oh, no. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Jay Garcia, how's it going? Having a 58% alcohol whiskey. So that's a cast strength. What is this? This is also 58%. Unless you're talking about me.
I think he was talking about you.
Okay.
Just an incredible coincidence.
Yeah. It's like, wow. No. The floating, the moving parts comment before was probably about the canoe. Yeah, okay, because, hold on. Mech has released queer gear for the LGBT blah 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 too, folks. Nice to see that outdoor niche being exclusive, being inclusive.
Faux pas there.
Yeah. Have they? I mean, I have no problem with it if they have.
Like, I don't. Is there anything different about it, or is it just? I mean, it's the same stuff, isn't it?
There's the thing. Like, if if there is something different that's geared towards an element that I'm too stupid to figure out, then yeah, I'm all for it. If it's just like a marketing thing, like if they're just pumping the price up, throwing a rainbow on it and selling, because that's the thing. A lot of companies have this real sort of cynical approach, right? Throw a rainbow flag on, pump the price by $5 or $10 and watch the dollars come in. That I'm a little less supportive of.
Even if it wasn't, I mean, even if it was just a marketing thing, and even if they didn't bump the price up, I'd be kind of disappointed. But
Especially for Mac, right? Because they seem like kind of company that wouldn't fall for that kind of easy, cynical play.
yeah,
It's like a nose full of the ocean. Actually, I almost got a nose full of the ocean there, but I be careful about how horizontal I put this glass. Serge says what I was saying earlier. Meanwhile, hinging and moving parts on a canoe seems like a bad idea. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's foldable plastic, right? So just fold any piece of plastic often enough, and you're going to get a crack. And I don't want a crack in my canoe. Like that. That's sort of the bottom line. But Cliff says, I agree, Grace, but they have been tested for a large quantity of folds over failure. However, there's always a 1 in 1,000 chance of catastrophic failure. And I will tell you something right now, right for free. I'm the one who's always that 1,000th person. Like, I have stuff fail on me. I'm like, what's going on with this? And the guy's like, this failed? And I'm like, yeah, that failed. And he's like, can we get a picture? Like, I'm always the 1 in a million for some stupid reason, which makes me really, really shy about spending money these days. Let me tell you. Hey,
okay,
I'm caught up with the chat.
I don't know if you want to get into it, but the Queer Gear, it's actually a grant. They select 4 community groups and they give them $1,000 to put towards outdoor activities. They get some tents, sleeping bags, and stuff.
Well, we probably shouldn't derail the entire conversation about it, but that sounds pretty cool to me.
Nonprofit charities and community groups are eligible. Okay. Yeah, sure.
That sounds cool enough to me.
Yep.
So you got some knives? Not some knives. I think I have a couple more knives up here. Hold on a second.
Do you need to go get some?
I have 3 here.
This is kind of like this segment should really be called. Look at the knives. Look at the knives we never use. Mine sit in a drawer.
But you live in the woods, man.
Really? Tell me more.
You live in the woods. Okay. You're surrounded by trees. You have a very crazy trail between you and your car. Beavers.
Well, no. Just the point is, I guess the real point is, I mean, I carry a knife around all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's just one knife. It's just.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, it's. I mean, this is the one I've been carrying. I mean, all these other ones just sit in the drawer.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't even get used that much. I think I use this. You know, what I use this one for is opening Amazon packages.
Really?
That's what it gets used for most
My
of the time.
folder, which is up there somewhere, it's mostly an Amazon package opener. The 2 I have at my desk right now are the Felkniven F1, which I'm on record as saying I love this knife, even though it's ugly and synthetic, and the Gerber. Not the Gerber. The Gerber is back there. The Morakniv Garberg.
The
Mora.
I bought this one for City Girl, but
that's a Light My Fire. Yeah. I find that
now that she's got the Russell Groman, she doesn't take that anymore.
But did she ever use the little ferro rod in the handle? Show the ferro rod, and I'll make the comment that looking at those knives made me think of twist. Right? Is it a twist or a pull? I think.
I've never actually.
I thought it was a twist and pull.
Maybe. Which way do you twist? Twist and pull.
Twist and pull.
I'll work on this. You keep talking.
Okay. What Russell is going to show is once he can get it open. Oh yeah, Cliff says it is a twist and pull. Hold on a second. Serge says that if I have a talent for breaking things, I should work in R&D. It's not my talent at breaking things; it's other people's talent at selling me the 1 in a million. That yes, I get it. Skip, very funny. It's other people. I blame everyone else. You should call this segment straight edging.
Okay, got it.
Clev says, glad to say I have an extensive knife collection. At the same time, I don't have them to the extent that you gents do. I have 2 to 3 name brand knives, and the rest are what true bladesmen would call junk. Okay. Yeah. So, because I wanted to buy an orange one of those because I like my stuff to have blaze orange on it.
Is that like?
But it looks really small to me.
Does it? Hold on a second.
You know, like my ferro rods have trended larger and larger over time. Yeah, everyone's like, Russell, everyone's saying like, you know, Cliff said twist then pull. David said twist, shout, then pull. If Cliff says it should be a quarter turn, then should just pop out.
Okay, so
Serge says turn and pull or a bloody Russell. Yeah. See, that's more like what I like to have.
That's
yeah.
Well, and if you've ever, for anybody who hasn't used these, like you want a good stroking action after you twist and pull. You want a good stroke that thing. You want that to be as long as possible to get that good stroke in there. And when you do get a good stroke, man, the sparks will fly. The sparks will fly, and they'll spray all over the place.
Absolutely.
Here, do you want a demonstration?
Yeah, sure.
I'll just use this is a good edge on it, right? Oh yeah, it's good edge.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't do that here.
Boom. Other side of the screen goes black. It's like, whoops.
This sparks land on my keyboard.
Russell, you have got to see this side chat on this segment of the conversation.
Classic.
Classy. But yeah, like to me, when I'm using a ferro rod, like those really tiny sort of survival ferro rods, I don't want to have to try to survive off of something that small because I can't get the, you know.
Okay, well, let me try the small one for sake. Yeah, I guess well.
Actually, those sparks are a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest with you.
It's not bad, but okay, here's the long one again.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't do that in here, you know? I mean, this is how you start fires, right?
Set Willow on fire. Destiny says now he's setting Junebug on fire. Destiny and I went to exactly the right place, just one dog over. I love it. Everyone's suddenly like, there's Chrissy. Are the dogs there? They're not nearby, are they?
Well, Junebug's not far. But no, she's fine.
The thing is,
this protective coating of fur.
Right. So that's made by MONTRÉAL as well, right? That Light My Fire, if I remember correctly. The blue knife. That's a Mora.
Yeah, I believe it is. It says something on it.
Yes. It says Light My Fire, and then on the blade it'll say MONTRÉAL. MONTRÉAL.
I need stronger glasses.
It's okay. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it does say Light My Fire. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like these knives.
Moras or the Light My Fire?
The knives. I mean,
it's got the that weird sort of scoop in the yeah.
But the part of the problem is, I mean, they just get this corrosion or something happening on them. It's probably not corrosion, but they just turn funny colors and.
Well, is it the inox or is it the carbon?
Is the what?
Carbon?
I don't know what you're asking. I need longer sentences. Can you use it in a sentence?
Is the blade of that knife made of high-quality carbon steel, or is that a stainless steel, or sometimes known as inox blade?
Well, it's definitely not stainless steel if it's doing that kind of crap.
Yeah, so you got to oil the blade.
It's just a
basic
cheap
knife care, Russell.
Basic. No.
Basic bitch knife care. Okay,
fine.
you just got to oil that bitch up.
Your show. You say what you want.
Jay says you have to increase the stroke rate with the shorter rod to get the same sparks. This entire conversation is like one long double entendre. In fact, in some cases, it edges on single entendre. Like what Serge says, it's not the length that's important, it's how you spark it. I mean, for land's sakes, people.
Well, we didn't actually talk about width either. I believe the long one is also
thicker.
It's
wider. Yeah, it's like, what's that, a quarter inch? No, that one's not a quarter inch.
Well, we're going to get our measuring tapes out and measure our rods. I got something right here.
This conversation's so awkward.
I need stronger glasses. Oh, it's almost like 3/8.
Is it?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, because there is a 3/8. There's a quarter. There's a half. If you really want to spend some money, because the bigger these things get, the more expensive they are.
I need stronger glasses. Anyway, I like them big and long and fat.
That's what.
Yep, sparks will fly.
Fair enough. Because as Cliff says, you need the fat ones. They last longer. But the reason I was asking about that, about whether or not you like the actual knife or just the sort of whatever, was because I knew that Mora has that weird sort of scooped point on the blade. And I've always thought that looks really weird. I think the Mora 2000 has it, and the
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I could never figure out what that's for. Apparently, it helps with skinning or something. Sales, your brother's got a Mora with that weird scooped blade. Do you remember what he said it's for? In fact, he even talked about it on a video of mine at one point when all three of us were in the bush. It's weird. Saying in the bush after the whole conversation about length and width kind of makes me feel awkward. Sales is asking if Russell said he needs better glasses to see the width of his rod. No. Yes, but no.
And a mirror.
I need to lose about 20 pounds. Okay, moving right along. Let's just move right along. You know what? I know that Russell number 1 goes everywhere on your belt, but I'm surprised that the number 4 doesn't. Like, I'm surprised that you don't feel the need for like the extra comfort of that bigger blade. I mean, I see the reason for it, like as someone who likes his blades to be like 4 inches, and that's about it. I think that one's like 4 3/4. Is it the number 4?
Well, what do you think is going to happen out here?
Yeah, nothing.
Well, I mean, what do you think is going to happen that I need? Hold on, let me grab these. I still got my flap.
Yeah, so it's harder to get it out.
Well, I mean, I haven't cut it completely off yet, but
I've almost cut my flap off. I've
so
almost circumcised my.
I'm trying to hold them together. The reason I carry this one is because it's lighter, right?
Mm-hmm. And it is lighter.
Quite a bit lighter.
Yep.
So, like, if you can think of a scenario where this would be a lot better than this out there for something that might come up.
Can't think of anything. I would see that top one. In fact, I wish my number 4 was a flat ground instead of the whatever it's called, saber ground, because I would like to position mine as a food prep knife specifically. And I think
What do you mean by what do you mean by food prep? Like
like I would like to have it as part of my bushcraft kitchen stuff.
Okay.
Use it for, food prep, slicing up food. Have it
Well,
as a
I meant
kitchen knife in the outdoors.
I wasn't sure if when you said food prep, where they were talking about doing, preparing food in your kitchen at home and then going out in the bush, or
No,
that you're talking about.
yeah, bush
Okay.
food prep. Yeah, I mean, I've got great kitchen knives, thanks to Al.
Yep.
But I like to have like a good sort of kitchen-oriented outdoors knife. Man, there's a couple of really sweet outdoor kitchen knives now, but they are all way outside my price range. Like way. I like Destiny says the quotes from tonight are lit. Just saying as I scribe away. Destiny, watch the. I don't want to cause pain to your hands or anything.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies, if you're going to watch this live stream again and read the chat, sit on the washing machine while you're doing it.
Russell, stop it. Oh, that is so awkward.
I mean, if you're doing laundry and you're just looking for something to watch, and is that the end? We should just end it there.
And scene. Well, there's a conversation between. Oh, I see. Okay. David says, "What's a good skinning knife?" That number one that Russell is holding, and that I own, and I think you own, and now City Girl owns.
David, the one that you gave to City Girl. We know this one's City Girl's because we put the lanyard on it. Oh, yeah. And the other one stays on my belt generally, but
So the genesis of the number one is that when Groman and J.H. Russell were designing that knife, their QA test was hunters and trappers in the Canadian North. So these people were using the North. What? We're using the knife for skinning, hunting and trapping, just general tasks and stuff. But there was skinning happening, and that knife is designed to make all that stuff work the best. So between that and the number four, I would go with the number one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a quality skinning knife. I mean, I haven't used it for skinning yet. I haven't gotten a deer in a while, but I plan. This is the knife I plan to use when I when I finally do.
If I was still going hunting, I would love that Gransfors Brook hunting knife with the rounded pole, specifically so you can do sort of the Scandinavian style of skinning.
Yeah.
But that's just because I wanted to try that out. Now that axe is way too expensive for me. It's still like a bucket list axe for me. I want like Mila Kunis, but it's just way too expensive, and I don't hunt anymore. So there's no reason for me. Like, I don't want it just as a typical camp axe because I got great camp axes. But it's like the axe that got away, kind of. And if I was still going hunting, I would try to find the way to afford it for sure. The Gransfors Brooks hunting axe.
Do
you know what I'm talking?
No.
You don't know it? Hold on.
No. But yeah, bring it up. I was gonna say, out of curiosity, has anybody seen any ads tonight?
What time are we?
You forgot to turn ads on?
No. Has anyone seen ads? Maybe they don't think I'm worth advertising with anymore. Because I haven't put out a video in for so long.
Maybe it's all this innuendo.
It's all the innuendo tonight, all the single entendre. Okay, forest axes, historical. I'm looking for the specialist axes.
Axes for skinning.
Hold on a second here. Other products? No.
Hunters.
Huh. Have they discontinued it? That would piss me all the way off.
All the way?
all the way.
Okay, so let me share something here. Something like that?
No. Although that's got the gut hook and everything, but no, the the Gransfers is very different. What is going on? Where is the Hunter's Axe? If they've discontinued that, I'm going to be really irate. They put a lot of pride behind that axe because they won an award for it.
Well, this is one of those things where I'll get that one day when I have
Oh,
more
there
money.
it is. Hold on. I shall now share the screen. You see it?
Yeah.
So everything about it is designed towards like hunting tasks, right? So the pole is, hold on, the pole is round. Like, please note the shape of the haft.
Mm-hmm.
It's very textured so that if it gets full of blood, it's not going to slip out of your hand. You see sort of how it's rounded at the pole?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that is designed is that you sort of start to, hold on, who cares about the, oh well. The way it's designed is you start to pull the skin away, and then with the rounded pole, you hit the skin right almost where it joins the muscle that you're pulling it away from, and you just sort of impact it away like that without like scoring the meat or any of this, the little cut errors that you can sometimes make. It's also gorgeous. Yeah.
It just looks like an axe to me, I'm gonna be honest.
Why you gotta be hating?
It's your live stream, so I gotta be.
I gotta be.
Right. Take a look at this one. I don't know. It just popped up in the search.
I can see that as being a skinning tool, but it just looks like a fancy ulu to me.
Yeah, weird, right?
A very fancy ulu, though. I love that sort of hand-forged look. I wonder if it really is hand-forged or if it's just because there's a lot of companies that do like cheapish knives to look hand-forged. Yeah, it's $50.
Oh, on sale from 180? No,
Wow.
no, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
Excuse my English.
Damn it. It's got a cool look to it. Like clearly, it's. I would almost use that as a like a herb cutting knife. You know those herb cutting knives? You know them, of course, right?
No, I don't.
Noob, you're all about the better things in life. But what was that site?
Etsy.
Good old Etsy, eh? Hold on a second. So,
45. I mean, this is everything about this is for 45. No, it's a 75% off sale for the next 18 hours. Come on.
That's weird, right?
Son was happy to get this knife for Christmas. What?
Okay. Now, you know what Fox said here. Cliff says, would say a good food prep knife would be an Opinel. Take your pick on what number you'd like to use. Yes. We have, the missus and I each have an Opinel number 8. I think the Opinel is like, the number 8 is the one true Opinel. And for the price, they're spectacular knives. I love the unique locking mechanism on them and everything. But like when I say food prep, I mean you're prepping on the cooking side of things rather than you're cutting your steak. Like, so to me, the Opinel number 8 is your eating knife. And they make some pretty large Opinels, so maybe something more like a number 12 or something would make a good like cutting potatoes knife or whatever. But like to me, excuse me, to me, like I want a Nesmuk, a full-size Nesmuk as my food prep knife, and that Groman number 4, if it was in a flat ground, that would fit the same hole in my knife collection. 8 Acres. Serge says, do they make pink washing machines? And we're back. No, we don't want to be back, Serge. Cliff says, I'm not saying you can't use any knife, any kind of knife for skinning, just saying a fillet knife would have a slimmer profile going with the flex. I've never skinned, so I cannot 100% say. I would want something with a lot more curve in the blade than that, though.
Oh, was that Cliff that said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
By the way, yes, Shawnee had an ad. Christy hasn't seen an ad.
So he's
had an ad
one of
20
these
minutes.
then.
Yeah, and I wouldn't use that for.
How does that make any sense?
That
Cliff?
doesn't look like a fillet knife, though. Is that a
It's the fish knife.
Kemikuri? Oh, okay. I don't have the fish knife.
Oh.
I don't have the fish knife. Just kidding.
Oh well.
Christy says, I have an awesome fillet knife I got at Cabela's. I feel that a fillet knife is called a fillet knife because it's good for making fillets. But that doesn't make for a good skinning knife. Although I can see what Cliff is saying about it being flexible, maybe being a plus in certain contexts. But like, yeah, to me, something kind of short and round, or the Grand Frisberg's hunting ox makes more sense. Contra Boy says to Fox, the fillet knife is no good for skinning. Too much flex and too sharp a point. You'd end up making a big mess of the job. I wish that I had kept the skins from the deers that. Oh, David says my fillet knife sucks. I need a new one. Just go to cabela's.com or .ca. Jay says. Okay, Jay asks, if you could only carry a knife or an axe, which would you pick and why? Which make and model would you carry? I would carry an Ontario Bushcraft Woodsman fixed 918. So is that is that like an 18-inch knife? For me, I'm always going to pick an axe over a knife.
Well, we need some more. We need some more context though, Jay. What are you talking about? Like going through the bush, going on a hike, just general everyday.
Yeah, right. For me, as a bushcraft tool, I will always pack an axe. Now, part of that is because look, I can give you all kinds of logical reasons, but here's the thing: when people reason their way to an answer, 98% of the time, what they're doing is they're tricking themselves into thinking that they're logically coming to the conclusion that they really kind of want to arrive at, right? And so I can give you all kinds of logical reasons, but the fact is I just love the axe. I get the fizz from an axe the way I don't get the fizz from a knife. I can chop with an axe. I can cut food with an axe. I can prepare food with an axe. I have a video where it's an old one, but I like it, where I prepare supper with an axe rather than a knife. I did it on my back balcony in my old apartment. But the thing is, technically, if you're patient, you can do a lot of the same chopping stuff with a knife that you can do with an axe. It's just it'll take you a lot longer. You can baton with a knife to do some splitting. It's like if you're only carrying one of the two tools, you're not really tying an arm behind your back the way some people think you do. Think you are. Some tasks are definitely going to be easier with one over the other. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's easier with a knife than an axe for sure. Like your food prep being one of them. Especially because if you have a specific food prep knife, no, that's not the question. If you could only carry a knife or an axe, so no, you don't have a separate food prep knife. Okay. But just sort of, if I'm reading, Jay, what you would carry, that's kind of a chopper anyway. So that's almost like you're almost getting axe like performance from that, right? You can do some heavy chopping with something that big. Whereas to me, a knife is like a 4-inch. I can maybe stretch that to 4 3/4 or 5-inch blade, right? Like I don't carry machetes around. I don't know. What do you think, Russell? I know Country Boy uses his 4-inch folding buck for skinning. Nice round tip.
I've only skinned one deer. It was the last deer I got, and
Oh, I know what that is.
my neighbor Dan got me onto this. This is what I used for it, and they're scalpel sharp kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're replaceable.
And they're replaceable. You just replace it if it breaks or if it gets dull. But it's not a good example though, because the deer was frozen and I had a lot of trouble getting the skin off. But Dan also used his knife like this. What is it called again? It's a
I don't remember what they're called. You can buy them at Cabela's though.
Yeah. Anyway, he also used
no.
it to get the meat around the neck and the spine of the deer. He said a lot of hunters just throw it out because it's so hard to get to, but he could just get in there and just go down the spine like this, and
yeah,
that was pretty neat. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about those is that the blade is so small. First of all, you don't want to interface with that blade in any way because they are surgical. They are surgically sharp.
Right.
But look at the size of that. You can totally get into all kinds of smaller areas that, like, none of the guys I hunted with ever had a knife that small. So there's a lot of stuff that we probably wasted because of that. You know?
So, yeah, pretty neat.
Absolutely.
And this is handy for a lot of things when you need a really, really sharp knife to do something.
Yeah.
And you can buy the replacement blades by the pack kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, I think Cliff is saying here that that's probably the same knife as you have.
Yeah.
Christy says, I went fishing with my father-in-law, let him use my fillet knife, warned him it was super sharp, cut himself 3 times. That is silly because we all know that the sharper your tools are, the safer they are, for the simple fact that they give you more control over where the blade goes. Like a dull knife is going to do all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of people just put up with dull knives all their lives, so they're not ready for, so they can afford to make stupid mistakes because,
yeah, okay, yeah, that's legit. I could see that. Yeah. Sale says that round knife looks good to cut shoes. I think he might be talking about that really weird round $45 knife you were talking about earlier from Etsy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We should buy that knife and do videos about it just to see if it's any good. 180 down to 45. Get it now. It's a great deal. I'm like, what? Country Boy just said, I cut the cheese, but it didn't require a knife. Okay. Need a dog to blame it on. A different style fillet knife, Russell. I'm talking about ones you use for fishing and such.
Yeah, I get it now. So yeah, that's the one that you actually keep in your fishing tackle, and
yeah,
I get it. They're much smaller.
David cuts me deep with, if you had to cut large branches, you'd make a shelter, you'd want an axe. Unless, of course, you're in the boreal forest, you could use a butter knife. I'm throwing a butter knife into my bush gear. Oh, geez, I almost put Jay in timeout by mistake. It's a heavy chopper, so I have a hybrid option. Absolutely. That's what I'm getting from the size you were talking about. And Serge, your brother has a lot of choppers. I remember when he brought a bunch of knives out when we did that video that day. He had some really big ones. And I can see the benefit of a chopper for sure. As someone who is dedicated to the axe, I don't want a knife that makes me think I can just leave my axe at home, though. I also kind of feel that it kind of depends on where you are. Like in certain parts of the world, like if I was in Florida, I would have a heavy chopper rather than an axe for sure. If I'm in a forest that's all oak, forget about it. I'm going to have an axe, and I'll probably bring a forest axe rather than my usual small forest axe. Or I'll bring something that's got some girth to it, or I'll bring something like, and I think that's a conversation that, especially if you're hanging out on the knife forums, sometimes someone kind of forgets to think, okay, yeah, you're in the Philippines, you're in Japan, you're in China, you're surrounded by bamboo forests, although bamboo is technically a grass, rather than oak. Are you going to bring an axe for that, or are you going to bring like a big machete? right? I like my knife to take up no room. The reason I like a 4-inch is I can baton a little bit, I can carve, I can do a lot of stuff, and I'm not worried about, like, if I crouch down to do something, I'm not worried about the end of my sheath bouncing, like sticking on the ground and getting in the way. Serge says, axe or knife, being skilled with both means you lose one or the other, you'll make it out of the bush. Means that if you lose one or the other, you'll make it out of the bush. Absolutely. Well, whatever your tool is, though, you need to practice with it before you hit the bush. You need to know what you're doing with your tools. You do. You can't just sort of like be out there and unwrap, take the plastic off your Bear Grylls ultimate survival knife and expect to do well. You have to have your knife, like really have your knife. Work with it at home, clean it at home. What I do is when I get home from the bush, I wash my tools at the same time as I'm washing the dishes after supper, right? So you look at my dish rack afterwards, it's like plate, axe, plate, knife. And then I take the axe and the knife and I dry them off and oil them up. Like I interface with my tools as often as I can so that they're comfortable in the hand, but they're familiar in the hand. Russell, that number one is probably like like a slipper to you now, right? Because you carry it all the time. You're using it for everything from opening packages to blah blah blah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I keep dropping it on when I'm running down the stairs from a bowl. But yep,
that doesn't sound dangerous at all.
Cinderella, come on, the slipper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like this knife. And yes, Christy, mostly from opening Amazon boxes. I've gotten really good at the sides, and then just lightly on the top because you don't want to cut what's ever inside it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at that. I should do a video on how to do that.
Yeah, you should do
in
it.
case in case people want to start ordering from Amazon, they're going to need to know how to open the boxes.
Yes, people. Allow me to invite you to order stuff from Amazon. It is easy and it is affordable.
I can paste my wish list. Oh no, they use their knives. Okay.
I mean, I have a wish list up on Amazon that I use for keeping track of my purchases. I like the wish list feature because sometimes I see something like, wow, I really want that. Shit, I just paid for Camille's summer camp. Put it on the wish list. I'll get to it later, kind of thing. Although somebody once bought me something off my wish list, and I didn't know how to handle it. I was like, wow, thank you. Now I feel awkward. First of all, country boy, that joke did not fall flat. It was just a stinker.
It barked.
Yeah, Alain has a lot of knives. I got to get that guy on a video again. Sash, we have to hit the bush again. Do a video. In Florida, you don't carry a knife. You carry a shotgun and a machete. Yeah, like a big honking knife. And you, I guess... I wonder what Hike with Mike carries with him. Oh, yeah, Jay. Man, Jay's got the questions, man. Since we all carry knives and axes and use them in the forest, what kind of first aid supplies are you carrying? I sort of briefly spoke about this in the last live stream. And so I will speak about it briefly, but maybe a little longer this time. Buy a first aid kit. But then, like, don't buy your first aid kit at the pharmacy. Order a first aid kit from a specialist company. All of the names of all of which escape me right now. Or, maybe you can get one at Canadian Tire because they have like a hiker's one. They have a camper's one. Get like the multi-person camper's one, wherever it is. Or unless you can really go to one of these high ticket places, the names of which escape me, and like really spec it out. Then when you receive it, you open it up and you see everything that is missing, and you buy that stuff and add it in.
You need to go 2 steps back here, Jess. First of all, take a first aid course, then buy your first aid kit, and then buy the stuff. because that's what I did, and
Okay.
because otherwise you don't know. You don't know. You buy a first aid kit and think, well, I guess. But I took a first aid course, that one of those 2-day courses,
Yeah,
and
I
I
did as
learned
well.
so much, right? So that when I did buy a first aid kit, I was like, nope, that ain't gonna do. These cheesy little scissors, nope. I'm gonna buy proper surgical scissors. I'm gonna, you know.
So you think I was just making an assumption there. I was basing my start on an assumption rather than
Well, I think it's important
damn it, Russell.
to
But
say
yes, you're
to
right.
the people watching.
No, I think you're right. I think I was making an assumption that I shouldn't have made. So everybody, Russell's right. Start with knowing
Did Destiny write that
your
down?
stuff. Destiny, yeah, write that down.
That's a quotable.
Yeah,
Russell was right.
Russell was right. But he was. He was absolutely right. If you can take a first aid course, just the typical 2-day course, I would do that. If you're squeamish, that's okay. You need the knowledge. You need the knowledge.
Very important, extremely important, guys. And you get to the course, it'll be like a bunch of people already there. Sit right next to the cutest girl there. Okay, trust me on this.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Why?
and girls, same. You know,
Sit next to the
because
cutest
you
boy.
end up doing a ton of stuff with your partner.
Oh, I see.
Like okay, first you search the person for blood to see if they have any blood, and I'm like, I'm with this big fat dude, and I'm like, why couldn't I be over there with one? So your hands are all over the person, you're like looking for blood, and then you're doing chest compressions, and then you're doing
I get
mouth
it.
to mouth.
Okay.
That's the only acceptable time, guys. If you're married, that's the only acceptable time it's okay to feel up another girl.
So, what I was saying before about Russell being right, ixnay. But yeah, no, he was right about taking a first aid course, because the thing is, you will definitely learn more about first aid and then what you're looking for because you want something kind of trauma related, right? Oh my god, I just missed the log and went into my shin with the axe. You don't care about the Tylenol. You don't care about the Band-Aids. You may care about the sutures, right? The suturing kit. But you got to know what you're doing if you're going to have a sutures kit, right?
Exactly. Or if you're tying a tourniquet,
Okay.
when to do it,
Yeah.
when it's necessary to do it, and how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
how to do, and those kerchiefs that they put in there, like the many things you can do with one of those, like tying up your arm
Mm-hmm.
in a sling, and oh my goodness, it's
Yeah,
what an
absolutely.
eye opener.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so you start with that, and then you buy sort of a trauma-oriented or camping-oriented first aid kit. Then you open it up, and you replace all the stuff that just ain't gonna cut it. You're right, like those surgical scissors, or the, whatever they're called. You may wanna have a pair of forceps in there. They're not gonna come with it. You may want, or you may not. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pulling stuff out of the ether, just sort of going back on a first aid course I took, like, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But you can't just buy the one at the store and then expect that it's gonna have everything. Open it up as soon as you get home. A really good idea is to have sort of a double of everything, like one kit that you keep for emergencies and one kit that you keep to play around with for your practice and stuff, where you're not
Well,
stressed about using up the stuff in it. I mean, that's inexpensive.
ideally you'll have multiple kits, right? You'll have one big home kit that stays in your kitchen kind of thing, and then you'll have a little kit in every car you own. You have a little kit
Mhm.
in, I don't know, yeah, in various places. But another important thing is things expire in your first aid kit, right?
Yeah,
Band, Band-Aids lose their stickiness.
over time, they do. Yeah,
And
everything does.
I had medication in my first aid kit. In fact, I never look at my first aid kits, but I need to. But medication will expire, and
Would you say check your kit every year or every 2 years?
I do it once a year.
Yeah. Sort of do it like, when you replace the batteries in your fire, alarms, your smoke detectors at the solstice or whatever it is, check your first aid kit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I gotta check mine.
Yeah.
I also have a little pack that I take out when I'm hiking.
Yeah.
I need to check that too.
And what's in that?
What's in it?
Yeah.
You really want to know? I can get it.
Oh, just like general, like is it a cuts and bruises kit, or is it a
Yeah, pretty much. There's cuts and bruises. There's a tensor bandage in there. There's pretty much cuts and bruises. I can't even remember now.
Here's actually a serious question. This is a serious question. See, he says it right up front. With the smaller handled knives, doesn't it feel strange not having a full grip as opposed to holding a knife with, say, 3 fingers? Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't use them because I want to have all 4 fingers on my knife. That little knife I made for my daughter, that OG members will remember, for me, that's a 3-finger knife for sure. In fact, for her, it's practically a 3-finger knife at this point.
Even my smallest knife, I can get my 4th finger on it.
Yeah.
Like, are there knives made that are...
Yeah, there are some really compact knives, and I think the only quasi 3-finger knife, no, even that's a 4-finger. I have a mini Nesmith that I have for food, but even that is just long enough as a 4-finger knife.
Like and I've got big hands, right? So that would be a concern for me, but where's my
Russell, Upgrade Recon agrees. Take the course first. Absolutely. He's right. Yeah, 4-finger knife.
I mean,
full hand. Because Cliff, I feel that I have maximum control when I have maximum hand contact with the handle of the object, the axe or the knife. Whereas 3, I start to feel it's a teacup. You know?
I'm trying to think of a handle where I can only get 3 fingers on it, but I'll tell you what is just as important. Like, and this is one of the drawbacks of this knife. As beautiful as it is, and I love it. It's it feels really slippery. Like, not super slippery, like it's not just going to slide out of my hand. But one thing about this heavy folder, is if I ever get it open, that grip is like solid. Like, my hand is not moving on it because it's got all kinds of jagged things here, and it's got that nice. What is this called? This part of the knife. The not the hilt. Anyway.
Anyway, I've had whiskey, dude. I can't remember a damn thing.
Like this grip is solid. This knife is not moving in my hand, no matter what I do.
Like, it's got a finger choil, at the very start of the I see a finger choil there.
Yeah.
And then it's got that little protective ridge, whatever it's called.
Like, like such a solid grip and good whatever these are. Like, my thumb's not moving on that.
He's got jimping up there.
But this, I mean, you go back to this thing and it's just smooth. It's just smooth everywhere. And
it's an old school design, man.
One of the things you always got to worry about is your fingers are going to slide right up that blade when you're doing something.
But I mean, that's why I never do that thing, where you sort of do this punk and you stab your knife into
yeah.
I don't do that because I'm always afraid of.
That would scare the shit out of me with this knife. I wouldn't do that. Whereas this one, I wouldn't have a problem. Well, except that it's a folder and it might suddenly bend on me and cut my fingers out.
Don't do it, Russell, for God's sake. David says he's taken a number of first aid courses over the years. Not sure how much I remember. That's the thing, you forget this stuff fairly quickly.
Well, you're supposed to refresh it every 3 years or something.
Yeah, something like that. Cliff says zip stitch and cello clot will be some of your best friends in a first aid kit. Yeah, something to clot your blood fast is good. Off-grid Recon is laughing at us or with us. I'm not sure which. Seth says, what? There isn't good YouTube first aid videos? Actually, there are probably some spectacular ones. I mean, I don't mean, like, don't go watching Patriot Nurse, but I mean, there are probably some really good ones out there.
I bet that's a joke.
I'm sure it's a joke, but I think that he's inadvertently right. I think there are probably some great videos.
Oh, absolutely. But this is one of those things. It's like watching a video on how to make a bow drill,
Yeah.
Can't watch a video like that and say, okay, I can do it.
Which is great. You got to practice it. Otherwise, you're that idiot who watched that guy from Toronto who watched a bunch of Les Stroud and Bear Grylls and then walked into the forest and died.
Did that
Well,
actually happen?
yeah, it was in the news like 10 years ago. Off-grid recon says a skin stapler. I mean, the squeamish in me is like, oh, he's probably right.
Can you even buy a skin stapler? Some things you can't buy.
Yeah,
Like you
some
can't,
things you have to be a medical.
like you can't buy antibiotics, right? You can't. Well, unless you go buy fish ones, but
David Evans says, first it's airway, bleeding and circulation. I remember that part. ABC.
the ABC.
James says, I'd like to pick the brains of two.
This day.
You'd like to
Or
pick.
something like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, pick the brains of Tuesday.
Do it, Jim.
Off-grid recon says, don't use super glue, but super glue was designed as for like closing wounds. So why would you say don't use super glue?
She says below, medical super glue is okay. So I don't know what the difference is.
Me neither. Oh yeah, because in fact, right after that, Cliff is asking the same question as I'm. Grace says, after my son got stung 5 times by hornets, 2 of which were on his neck, we added Benadryl. Lift started swelling and was worried about airway. No, we keep Benadryl as well because I have
There you go.
a daughter with allergies.
There you go. That's a great point. Is you'll have specific stuff that's just for you or your family.
Yeah.
Although I gotta have a bottle of rum in my kit.
Absolutely, you must. That's like suddenly we're reading like a Kephart book, right? Is it Kephart who listed everything in his first aid kit, and you read through and like, wow, this guy was on the drugs, man. But yeah, like we use Arius because like when a kid is having an allergic reaction, one of the things they ask you about is, is the kid lethargic? And if you give them Benadryl, they're going to be lethargic, whereas Arius doesn't. Excuse me. Jim says, I'd like to pick Brittany and Tennis Richards' brains on wilderness first aid, freak of nature. They're both experts there. Tennis Richards? There's a terrible name. But yeah, I don't know either of those people. But freak of nature, I'll look it up. Oh, I see. Medical super glue, sure. Not regular super glue. Lots of bad stuff. Okay, I didn't even know that. I didn't know there was a diff.
That's one of those things, though. If you don't have anything else, you're using regular super glue. Right?
If you don't have it, yeah. Off-grid recon saith, I got my leg with an axe. Oh, that must have sucked.
What part of the leg and how bad was it?
God, do we want to know? Yeah, of course we want to know.
Oh, of course.
Christy says, sorry, Steve said electrical tape over duct tape. Well, I don't know. Duct tape is pretty good too. Oh, Tunis Richards. Okay. Off-grid recon said I got a yelling at by the ER techs. They cleaned me up and used 3 skin staples. Yikes. Okay. Serge says, tangent. I had this conversation at work today. Check smoke detectors every 6 months. So every solstice and thing.
The other thing. Yeah.
The summer one and the winter one. Oh, actually, no, you're right. When it's when you change the clocks. Yes. Yeah. Fox, it says, I have a Tops MSK 2.5, and for me it's only a 3-finger blade, but it's also attached to a small kit. I'm still working on improving. Oh, I see. So you're not talking about like as a basic bushcraft or camp knife. You're talking about very specific uses, like something where portability is key. Okay. All right. I can see that. Oh, look who's hanging with us. It's going, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
How you doing? We're talking about bladed objects. I know you know a thing or two about bladed objects.
Yeah, Dave, knife or axe? That's a question for you, Dave.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jim says, if you stab down like that, wrap your hand in the parachute lanyard from the butt of the knife. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't do it. I just don't do it.
How to do that.
Yeah, but that's essentially it. Some people will throw it around their wrist, but I fear.
That works.
I fear. Oh, my land, it's already 11 o'clock? Because Serge says 11 o'clock, I need to get up early tomorrow morning, so I'm off. All right, good night, Serge. We'll go until about 11:15. Then cut her down. Fox, it says, I hope it's Dave. Otherwise, I'm going to feel really friggin' stupid tonight. I think you're safe.
Just tonight?
Hey, now.
Hey.
Doesn't hurt to carry a small aspirin for us old guys if heart issue happens in the forest. Yeah, that's an excellent point. With the one quid pro quo, that aspirin will kill me because I'm allergic to it. And that sucks because I know that there's a lot of benefits to aspirin.
Well, what over-the-counter drug can you get that will that you can use as a blood thinner that's not aspirin? Anybody?
Yeah, I don't even know. Because like for like a painkiller, like a headache, whatever, I use Tylenol because it doesn't have ASA in it. Or I think some does, but like I have to read the labels and make sure there's no ASA in whatever I take.
Here's some trivia for you. We have wintergreen growing everywhere on our property, and it's a source of acetaminophen. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I thought it was cool.
That is cool, actually. That's a good point. I remember you pointing out the wintergreen when I was there.
It's like grass around here. It's like, there's so much of it. It's one of those things that, like, I can't identify a lot of edible foods out here, but we got so much wintergreen, we could probably
make a salad.
We have wintergreen salad, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for.
Oh my God, my head hurts. Let's make a salad. Yeah. Christy just got an ad, but that's because it was at like 11 o'clock. Off-grid recon saith, I had a mishap with an axe, got my leg above the knee. It was about 2 inches long, 1 inch deep. Super glued and wrapped it, stopped the bleeding, but the ER informed me commercial super glue has bad stuff in it. Man, I did not know that because the thing is, super glue was originally designed for that kind of stuff. So I guess like crazy glue is like they took that and ran with it or some damn thing.
Medical super glue. I'm gonna have to put that on my list.
Yeah, I will too. Send me a URL when you find it, and I'll add it to my list as well.
That's on
Off-grid said I was about 13 miles from pavement and about 2.5 hours from the hospital. Not a fun night. Happened at supper time, for God's sakes.
Liquid skin bandage.
Oh, that's probably it. Dave says he would definitely choose an axe over a knife, as would I. But I feel that up north, he has more reason than even I do, right? Did you find it?
Yeah. Well, I gotta take a look at this, but I mean, just search medical super glue. There's a bunch of products.
It's good to know.
Yeah. So if you're
same thoughts on super glue, but learned my lesson. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess if you were heading out into the bush for like a survival situation, you could only take a knife or an axe, and those are only cutting tool options.
Axe.
Then you gotta take an axe.
Yeah, because you can use it as a knife, especially if it's like a bearded axe where you can like really choke up on it, like a carving axe or something.
You can use an axe as a knife, but you can't use a knife as an axe.
It takes a lot longer.
You can. It takes a lot longer. So does a cucumber, but damn it, come on.
Well, the thing about the cucumber is it's food and you're hydrating at the same time, so there are benefits there, Russell.
Ooh, laceration closures.
Are those little sticky things, the little tapettes?
Well, I gotta watch the video, but they're like doing this over it, and it. So I don't know.
Off-grid recon also says about the skin stapler. My skin stapler is a veterinarian stapler. Still sealed.
Here, let me. Oh, yeah, I can share this, right?
Yeah. Show it.
Oop.
Close-X emergency.
Cool.
What the hell? Wait, what?
It's like you know,
No, I don't know.
it's like, what do they call the? It's just a version of the.
Right. That's perfectly clear.
I can't remember the name now. Anyway, it looks cool.
Do
Good work. Well, it's a cut. So, butterfly strip. Is that what it's called? Butterfly strip?
that doesn't look like a butterfly strip to me, though.
Well, it's more advanced. It's high technology.
I
AI
don't want high
designed it.
technology. I just want basic butterfly strips. Or a zip, whatever they're called. Zip stitch.
Well, you can just go on bleeding then. Whatever.
Well, thanks for hating.
I don't hate. I just,
You just don't
show
feel. You just don't feel. That's your problem.
I don't feel. I'm a vampire now.
Axe.
Axe.
Hunting. Axe.
Yeah. Okay. Look, liquid skin.
Right. Liquid skin. I could see a benefit to that. I could see a case for having that in your first aid kit for sure.
So for $35, you get everything in this. I feel like we're doing a talk show. For $35, you get everything shown here.
For 4 easy payments of. Here's the thing though, like for your first aid kit, do you want that many? Hey, here's a question for Dave, if you're still here. Being up north of 60 as thou art, does that change? Like, is there anything that you throw into your first aid kit as a northern person that you never had to when you were living sort of out east?
That's what I was thinking. Steri strips.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But is there anything like? Is there like an element to a cold weather first aid kit aside from like hand warmers or something? I guess. But I see them as something you have in your pockets rather than your kit.
Breaking things. Hey, and I just want to say that this is a good purchase if you have multiple, med kits or
true
first aid kits lying around your place, which you should.
Kitchen, workshop, camp stuff, car
work.
Because kitchen one, you got a lot of burn stuff in, right?
Yeah.
Country boy says, we have those at work. It's a way better version of butterfly bandages. We use a lot of sharp knee phase. I used one once and it worked amazing. I don't know how it works. Maybe that. Oh, Mark is out. Night, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Sleep well. Okay, we'll go until 11:30, but then we're really cutting it off because I gotta leave for the actual office tomorrow. Yeah, so like one in the kitchen with a lot of burn stuff and stuff like that. Maybe some anti-poison. Something in the workshop, which is going to be trauma related, same as your camp one. Maybe slightly different, maybe not, depending on how accident prone you are.
You know what we should do?
Upgrade Recon is out. Good night.
It'd be really cool if I'd love to do like a medical thing. Like have a medical talk. Like, can you find somebody who's like an ER person or some emergency? Just have them on the show and let's talk first aid kits. Let's talk bushcraft, medical crap.
Let me hold on.
You're writing it down because you won't remember. Good night, David.
Good night, David. Have a good night. Sleep well.
Oh, good night. Good night. Man, I know you told us your name once. Shoot. Good night, Off-Grid Recon. I think it was Shirley or Rhonda. Rhoda? Francine? Damn it. I hate when I forget people's names.
Whereas I find it kind of funny. Cliff says, I feel with those kinds of glue, you need to store them in something like a tube or similar to keep them from getting smashed and accidentally gluing your first aid kit together.
Yeah,
fair enough.
These are tubes.
Destiny's out as well. Okay, time to dream. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bisous. See you all at Russell's Friday Books. I'm gigging this Friday.
Oh, that means we'll be live streaming for sure.
Yeah. And in fact, it's not like even a full weekend of gigging. It's a one-off Friday night with a fill-in fiddler.
Fill-in fiddler.
Fill-in fiddler.
It'd be really cool if his name was Phil. Phil the fill-in fiddler.
For the record, her name is Amanda. And then I think, is the next weekend already St. Patrick's? Or is that the week after?
Every weekend's a party here, so.
Okay, this week, right now we're the 5th. I'm trying to find my calendar here to tell you guys which Books Fests I'll be missing.
Is it on the wall?
No, I'm new school, dude. Okay. Oh, yeah, so this Friday I have a gig. And then next week, I'm gigging Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because it's St. Patrick's Day on Sunday. So Friday I'll be doing 9:30 to 2. Saturday I'll probably be doing 9:30 to 2, though it may be a slightly earlier. And then Sunday I'll be doing probably 2 to 2.
2 to 2?
Yeah, well, because Sunday is parade day. So we start right after the parade and we end at like 2 a.m. But like Sunday is also actual St. Patrick's Day. So we maybe even be starting earlier, but we usually wait until after the parade.
I feel bad. You're gonna be putting up with all the crazies and stuff, but I hope you get well paid for that.
It's okay. At one point it was spectacular, but now it's more okay. And I will tell you one thing. There is not a band in this town that does the St. Patrick's Week slaughter for any reason other than the payout, because it's a terrible gig. It's horrifying.
Yep.
Dave's answering the question I asked before. Glue loses its stickiness in the cold, so bandages are rewrapped with Gorilla Tape. Tourniquets and pressure bandages are a must for heavy bleeds. Right, because the actual glue isn't going to stick.
Interesting.
All right.
With Gorilla Tape.
Can't beat the Gorilla Tape.
Interesting. Pressure. I'm going to look up what a pressure bandage is.
I mean, it's the kind of thing you got to think about if you're living in the north, right? Whereas down here,
I see. It's like a tensor bandage.
Mm-hmm.
So you use the tensor bandage over top of the bandage.
Yep. I have a tensor bandage in my kit in the other room, right over there. Right over there.
Got it.
Yeah. But I can see that glue losing its stickiness. I mean, anyone tried to use like Scotch tape outside in the winter? I blew the window out of my old car, my 98 Camry, backing it up, and just tagging the lower edge of my whatever those machines are called that hang off your wall. It air conditions in the summer and heats in the winter. Heat pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, tag that. Blew the windshield out, the rear window out, and so in the 3 days between blowing it out, speaking to my my assurance, and going to the garage to get it the glass place to get it replaced, I tried to tape like a plastic bag over the entire back, and of course this was in the middle of like the coldest part of the winter, so even my my duct tape just wasn't sticking, man. Like I jammed it on as well as I could, but I was like, forget about
it. I was sure you're gonna say you use Scotch tape. I was ready to laugh, but
no.
Duct tape? Yeah, okay.
No. Hold on a second. So he talks about Davis is saying like replenishment. I think he is talking about
which word should have been replenishment.
I don't think he's. I think he's adding on to it. Oh yeah, and quick energy and quick sugar / energy tablets.
Interesting.
And would you put like hand warmers and foot warmers into a first aid kit, Dave, or is that just the kind of thing you carry in your pockets and like in the glove box anyway. Cliff is asking Dave if by any chance you carry bullion cubes. Why? Where did that question come from? 10 more minutes and we're out, people.
Yep.
And
We're gone.
The next 10 minutes asking Dave everything he knows about first aid kits in the Great White North.
Because we're totally hidden there.
Yeah.
Yep. This is important, Dave.
I tell you something, Russell. I'll tell you straight and I'll tell you for free. I dream of seeing the North. I dream of seeing the North in like May, not in February. But I would love to. I have massive regret. My brother, I think I've mentioned before that my brother used to fly for First Air. And so he lived in Yellowknife. And he said, yeah, sure, just get yourself up here and you can stay here for free. And I could never afford to just get myself up there. And now he lives in some place in England on a NATO base. And so I lost that opportunity. And I kicked myself on the regular about it because I've always dreamed of seeing the North. Always. I mean, I'm only 51. So when I say I've always dreamed of, I'm talking about for 40 years.
Yeah.
Fox says is relevant to the winter topic. Just there for a boost of whether moral or something better tasting than just warm water. I don't understand the question. Just there for a boost of whether moral or something better tasting than just warm water. There's for of either moral or something better tasting than just warm water. Damn it, Cliff. Why you gotta confuse me this close to finishing up? David says, hand warmers are usually in my pocket, so ready to go. Yeah, okay. I use those also to keep my camera batteries warm. That I use as well, so I completely understand where you're going with that. Okay, Cliff is having trouble with the spelling tonight.
I had a friend who I met him. I was going to say I met him online, which I guess I sort of did. I met him on BBS's back in the day.
Sounds romantic.
The internet. This young Korean kid, which at the time meant he was like 2 years younger than me because we were both like 20. He was like maybe I was 21. He was 9. So something like that. Anyway, we played video games a lot. We anytime there was a LAN party, he'd call me up and like, we gotta go right now, and throw our computers in the car. He ended up moving to Cambridge Bay, which is, I mean, if you take where Dave is and then go another 1,000 kilometers north to an island up in Nunavut. That's where Cambridge Bay is.
Is he there as like a scientist, or is he just there to get the hell away from everyone?
I never quite got that. He just wanted to go somewhere way north, so he did. He's not a scientist or anything. He's a computer guy. And we reconnected about 10 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And he was visiting his parents who were still living in Toronto, and we got together, and it was just like old times. We were gaming and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Cambridge Bay, like look it up on Google Maps. Like it's
up there.
It's up there, and I think he moved to the East Coast because I kind of lost touch with him again. But
I did the opposite of Dave.
Yeah, I should have gone up there when he was still there.
Yeah, you should have. I would also like to point out that Dave read Cliff's comment correctly, and I did not, because I forgot that he talked about those like bouillon cubes. Yep, I have those in my survival kit, and they make a great broth for game stew. I totally blew that one, Cliff. Sorry.
I knew he was talking about.
He's right. We're both drinking, buddy. I know. Sorry. I totally. You got it? You were understanding?
I knew what he was talking about bouillon cubes. I just wasn't sure what he was going to do with them.
I'm not the only one who uses them, or at least thought about having them in a kit for various reasons. I should probably throw some bouillon into my kit. Like the one that I take out into the woods, not the one in my workshop. I mean,
somebody correct me, but those like either don't expire or they have super long expiry dates on them, right? Because
I think it's just really long.
Powdered cube of.
It's
like a cube of spices, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I haven't picked up bouillon cubes in so long because of the sodium thing, and I'm old, so I'm not allowed sodium, or virtually not allowed sodium. But not a bad thing to have in your kit for sure. Absolutely. Hadn't thought of that. And it's funny because like when I'm out and about sort of doing the bushcraft stuff and sweating my arse off, that's when you really don't care about how much salt you're bringing in, because you're replenishing. You lose salt in your sweat, right?
We're past medical kits now. We're just talking about kits at this point. If we're talking about food, right? Can we throw some jerky in there and some pemmican?
Your good living kit. I think pemmican is a great food to have for if the more survival than bushcraft kind of thing. Although I do love pemmican. You know what I'm saying? Pemmican is something that lasts forever. You can throw it into like a sort of quasi disaster kit so that you don't die of starvation while you're tourniqueting yourself back to health. Yeah, Up North of 60 says that the OXO cube or whatever is a good alternative to tea or coffee. It tastes very good. I see the I would see the sort of making yourself a bowl of broth like that. And I mean, maybe you can throw some local plants in or not, but I could see that being a good rejuvenator of your spirit. Like, okay, everything's gone wrong. I've boiled up water and I've thrown an OXO cube in. So now I've got like this broth going. I feel like I'm having food. And like, I could see that feeling good as you drink it and sort of giving you like when I say spiritual, I don't mean like suddenly you've seen God, but like bringing your spirit back up a little bit. Like I could see that being a real good comfort drink, the way, like in a different way to tea or coffee, Bouillon is a concentrated soup base in small cubes. Yeah, very salty, but you'll need that salt on long trips. Yeah, absolutely. It's when I said, like, when I went out to hang out on Russell's land, I made the decision to not care about the salt because I knew that I was going to be working my arse off, even just walking back and forth on the land.
You're a pretty salty guy. You need to be careful.
I know, I'm pretty salty for sure. I'm a fucking grump. Oh. It's like, oops, I can't get that back. It's out there in the world now.
It's 4 words. Monetized.
Oh, well. We're among friends here.
I wouldn't worry. I swear every now and then. I've been known to swear.
I have also been known. When I'm not online, I'm an epic potty mouth. It's horrifying for my wife. For me, I'm like, hey, it's how I am. My daughters are like, ooh, daddy. I'm like, oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm definitely sorry. I'm not really sorry, but I'm kind of sorry.
Whenever City Girl says something to me like, oh, why do you say things like that? Why do you do this or why do you do that? I'm like, I was this way when you married me. You knew what you're getting into.
You knew what you were getting into. Take that, wench. Yeah, I get it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I try to care about the swearing, but I kind of don't. At
the end of the day.
I really try to sort of improve. But I think that it's not as big a sin as people think it is,
You know what? You need to be more like me, Jess.
What, living alone in an off-grid cabin in the forest? Yes, you're right. I do.
I just love that open-ended, but no. I mean, you make up words for if you got to say something nasty, like bananicles.
Bananicles is a good one. I tried doing that. I tried. Like I decided, you know what? Whenever I'm about to swear, I'm gonna drop something else in instead. And the first time I threw that into action, I did something stupid, and I was alone, and I said, fuck a pound cake." I was like, wait, I replaced the wrong word. I replaced the wrong goddamn word. I replaced the wrong word, but now I have to say that every time because I love it so much.
I love it too.
And now, like, I just throw the word pound cake into everything. I use it like the Smurfs use the word Smurf. So it's created this, what I think is hilarious. My wife's like, again, but so that didn't work. I
still think the best one I came up with on the spur of the moment was shit burglars.
Amazing. Country Boy says, "A tasty broth is a great morale boost in a rough situation." Yeah, and I get that. I see that. I understand it. I think maybe having like some OXO cubes or whatever in your oops kit is probably not a bad idea. Cliff says, "Sorry, I started a very interesting topic this late in live." Yeah, I wish you'd brought that up at like 8:30 because now it's 11:31 and I said we were going to 11:30. So we're going to shut her down so that I don't suck at work and get fired tomorrow.
That's fine.
So I will see all of you next Tuesday, where I hope I will have the reading and the news of the week ready to go. So between now and next week, everybody, please stay safe.
Wait.
What?
One more.
Agreed, Russell. A dedicated conversation for first aid considerations and supply should make for a great topic. Not really talked about in the bushcraft community. Yeah, you guys are both right. I've taken a note. I'm going to see if I can find a doctor somewhere in the people I know who's willing to come on and talk.
We don't need a doctor. Just some emergency response person, right?
Yeah.
In fact, emergency response, like somebody who's used to kind of going out there and dealing with something right away.
Yeah.
Because like a doctor is going to be like, in
maybe
a hospital with lots of stuff nearby, whereas somebody driving an ambulance,
like an what is it? EMT? Is that what you call it in English?
An EM tech, emergency measures tech, or something. Yeah, or a combat medic. Ooh, combat medic.
Combat medic would be cool. I don't know any combat medics. I mean, my family is all Air Force, but like not on the medical side.
I'll check my Rolodex, but
I'll just check ChatGPT. Do I know anyone who's in like combat medicine? But okay, I will try to find that for a Tuesday very soon. Between now, that won't be. I will not have that ready for next Tuesday. There's like a 0.5% chance. By the way, Russell, Cliff is asking if you're doing live Friday or changing it again.
It depends. Are you free Friday, Cliff? Because if you are, then we're not doing it. But if you're busy, if you're busy, then we're definitely doing Book Fest.
Why do you have to be such a brat, Russell? Okay, everyone, between now and next week,
paramedic. Yeah, there you go.
Paramedic. That's the one. That's the
that's what we were looking for. Thanks, Scott.
Up north at 60, I'm sure someone's going to jump into Russell's Discord chat for sure after this show.
Oh, you're looking for some you want an after hours chat?
After hours party.
Christy, you up?
Keyboard chat. Keyboard party. Tack. What? I said tack. What? I'm just trying to shut down the live stream, but everyone just keeps being hilarious. Especially, I hate you, Russell.
I had one more knife to show. I forgot. I bought this paring knife.
Wait, is that like a kitchen paring knife or a camping specific?
Yeah, like a kitchen paring knife. But do you know why I bought this?
Because it's cool. No, why?
Because you can put it in the dishwasher.
Oh, you can put that in the dishwasher?
Yeah. I mean, they say it's dishwasher safe. I know that looks like wood, but it must be something else.
It can't be, or it's like engineered wood. I wouldn't
Yeah,
put that in the dishwasher anyway. I would use a sponge.
Yeah, well, you know what doing dishes is like out here.
Yeah,
This is my main focus now. If I buy something for the kitchen, I want it to be dishwasher safe.
dishwasher
So,
safe. Yeah,
because I hate hand washing shit.
I have a lot of non-dishwasher safe stuff waiting for me right now.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But at least you have running hot water.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna shut this down so that there can be a chit chat on Russell's Discord that Dave will join for a bit. Between now and next week, please, everybody who is watching and loving the content and being great people, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another.
And don't forget to fuck a pound cake.
That's not the pea soup I was waiting for, Russell.
Pea soup.